Celebrities are placed on such high pedestals that it's easy to forget their faults. They're typically viewed as untouchable, unreachable beings simply because of their talents and presence in the industry. But realistically, they're all human like the rest of us, and there's no such thing as being perfect. In fact, with so much fame, stars are sometimes exposed for the not so desirable traits they carry. Lock into today's Where Are They Now as we count down the top 10 actors who have a reputation for being incredibly difficult to work with. Are there any difficult actors we may have missed on today's list? Don't forget to share your response in the comments, and let's jump right in. Taking our 10th spot is Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo's reputation has always been an up and down trend in Hollywood, however nothing beats his reported dispute with Titanic director James Cameron. His fame supposedly got to his head as a young star, so naturally there are a few stories floating around Hollywood about his attitude. One of those was James's, where he recounted Leo's Titanic audition in a GC magazine interview. To summarize, James recalled the event of Leo refusing to read Jack's part during a screen test. At the time, Leonardo was still being considered for the part, as opposed to Kate Winslet, who was already confirmed. But when Leo joined the initial meeting, he assumed it was regrouping for him to be introduced to Kate. So when James explained they were actually doing an on-camera read, Leonardo reportedly questioned him, eventually telling the Canadian filmmaker he doesn't read. In response, James detailed shaking Leo's hand and thanking him for dropping by, which supposedly surprised the actor enough to eventually agree, as James told Leo his whole life was going into the film and he was not messing around. James described Leo's sour behavior about the whole ordeal until he called action, which prompted Leo to jump into work mode. Finalizing, he turned into Jack, Kate lit up and they played the scene. Dark clouds opened up and a ray of sun came down. I'm like, alright, he's the guy. Before we jump into number 9, hit the like button if you know any of the stars on today's list. Taking our 9th spot is Lea Michele. I heavily debated throwing her in the 10th spot because I don't know how one actor can piss off just about every single person she's worked with. But of course, she's Lea Michele, so why wouldn't she? Notoriously known for being a quote on-set diva, Lea has apparently been a nightmare for co-stars like Kate Hudson. Not to mention the majority of her former Glee cast stepped forward to reveal her past behavior of racial microaggressions and demeaning attitude. Now Lea is heavily accused of pushing Stranger Things actress Sadie Sink during their joint Tonight Show appearance. On the Jimmy Fallon hosted series, netizens are not impressed with the star when she greeted her way onto stage and supposedly wedged herself between Sadie and Tonight Show singer Tariq Trotter, staying there even after introductions were complete. For the game segment, the stars participated in charades, with Tariq and Lea on one team and Sadie and Jimmy on the other. Now to me, this whole situation seems stretched, but according to fans, Lea tapped Sadie's arm in a dismissive way and forced her out of her center position so she could be there instead. Despite it being unclear where Lea was meant to stand in the first place, viewers were quick to throw Lea under the bus with wild accusations. TikTok users claimed Lea was mean and belittling, all while they praised Sadie for the way she apparently handled the situation. Internet users joined forces to further criticize Lea, though many also believe the hype is one big reach stemming from the internet's continuous love of hating celebrities. Taking our 8th spot is Ryan Reynolds. TJ Miller, a co-star of Ryan's for the first 2 Deadpool movies, had a lot to say about the actor when he spoke about their time working together. TJ played Weasel in the films and broke down his experience on Adam Carolla's show, detailing how Ryan was horrifically mean to him while playing the part of the R-rated superhero. Quote, "But to me, as if I'm Weasel." After chalking the events up to Ryan's ego, TJ also admitted he would never subject himself to that environment again by working with Ryan, and found Ryan's vendetta against him odd. TJ further praised Ryan's comedic skills and wished him no ill will, but proceeded to call him insecure and expressed how the fame he received from the first Deadpool changed things. However, even so, Ryan's also been accused of SA in 2017, detained in 2018 for an allegedly fake Amtrak train threat eventually dismissed by prosecutors, and more 2018 claims of on-set bullying of his Silicon Valley co-star Alice Wetterland. Ryan denied the allegations, of course, but he has such a history of being called out at this point, so how many are actually lies? Taking our 7th spot is Katherine Heigl. There was a time when Katherine's career took a massive tumble because of her 2009 statements on David Letterman's late night show about Grey's Anatomy's allegedly brutal working conditions. At the time, she had informed the host of some pretty wild stuff, like how they supposedly had her work 17 hours on her first set day. Katherine's words wound her career greatly, and she faced massive backlash, being permanently labeled as difficult. However, with the exposing 2021 International Alliance headlines of theatrical stage employees' protest, which shed light on the conditions of thousands of behind-the-scene workers in the industry and the unhealthy treatment set against them, Katherine revisited her former comments regarding the absurdity actors and crews were forced into by production. The actress explained how she was once publicly shamed for speaking up about the exact same thing and called ungrateful while being forced to step back from her career. This led to insecurities she still struggles with now from comments made over a decade ago. During a 2021 Washington Post interview specifically, Katherine discussed how the industry turned on her and claimed her reputation was an exaggerated response because she merely spoke her truth. Taking our 6th spot is Alec Baldwin. The eldest Baldwin brother is apparently a loose cannon. In 2013, he was dismissed by MSNBC following reports of him shouting homophobic insults at a videographer. Not to mention, with his unfortunate ongoing court case, he could prove to be rather difficult to work with in general, or not at all. Michael Shannon recently stepped forward to blame Rust's budget for the fatal on-set incident that finds Alec now charged with involuntary manslaughter. The actor furiously expressed his disappointment in low production budgets when questioned about the death of Rust's former cinematographer, Halyna Hutchins. Halyna's life was tragically taken in October 2021 after a prop weapon held by Alec discharged a real shot, injuring director Joel Souza before wounding Helena. A week ago, it was announced that Alec and Rust's armor, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, would be both convicted of the same indictment, while first assistant director David Halls agreed to a guilty plea for negligent use of a deadly weapon. Taking our 5th spot is Patrick Dempsey. Grey's expert, journalist, and author Lynette Rice has revealed her insider perspective on Patrick's leave from the show. Having interviewed him at the time, Lynette noted how Patrick seemed over the show entirely and simply wanted to quit to race his collection of valuably rare cars. Lynette also came to the discovery that Patrick grew miserable to be around and work with on set, edging closer to his leave, specifically because he didn't want to be there anymore. Lynette commented on the irony of Katherine Heigl exiting the show with a difficult reputation, despite the fact that it was probably Patrick who had everyone walking around on eggshells for him. Lynette boiled this down to the reality of displayed sexism and the double standards that women have to face and deal with within their Hollywood careers. Taking our 4th spot is Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth is apparently known for being frosty and was reportedly quite cold to Scarlett Johansson during Iron Man 2. Now she's been revealed as one of the Hollywood stars who helped to Leslie's Andrea Riseborough receive an Oscar nomination after it only generated $27,000 in global box office sales. Andrea's nomination has been dubbed a Hail Mary, as her campaigning efforts to snag a spot on the list started with her drawing her own funds to raise spotlights on the indie film. Word quickly spread to all her powerful Hollywood friends, and the ball officially dropped. For Gwyneth's part, she hosted a movie screening mere days before the voting period began. The result of this power play caused reactions to range from massive backlash to loads of praise. It's reported that Andrea was shocked by her Academy Award attention too. However, this event sparked major controversy among netizens as they noticed Andrea's inclusion might have shoved Viola Davis and Danielle Deadwyler out of the running for their respective films. Despite Hollywood seeing a massive reckoning after the trending hashtag #OscarsSoWhite over the years, none of 2023's Best Actress nominees are black. Taking our 3rd spot is Christian Bale. This Welsh actor is known for being an extreme perfectionist. Like, how could anyone ever forget his famous Terminator Salvation rant? However, even if his reputation may precede him, Christian has stated how he approaches every movie like it's the last film he'll ever make. The pale blue-eyed star didn't believe he'd land any other roles after Batman and thought it would be the only one he was remembered for. Christian detailed taking every role humbly and approaching them like their final, leaving no room for arrogance no matter how big or small the part may be. Additionally, the star noted the potential of being typecast and damaging his career as what's kept him humble, even despite being tempted by the prospect at first. Aside from all his years of work, Christian admitted he would never offer his co-stars advice because he's still learning himself. Specifically, when he discussed working alongside Harry Melling for Pale Blue Eyes most recently, the actor referred to himself as an asshole if he ever tried to sit Harry down to teach him a thing or two about acting, further pushing that Harry knew exactly what he needed to do all on his own. Taking our 2nd spot is Bruce Willis. The die-hard actor has been described as grumpy and unapproachable on set. His cop-out director even once defined their working relationship as soul-crushing. The actor has since retired from the industry after his battle with his brain condition aphasia was revealed. At 67 years old, Bruce was forced to withdraw from acting earlier in the year as he started his fight against the the illness that caused his speaking abilities to deteriorate. Back in November, Bruce was reunited with his former co-star John Travolta for Paradise City. This marked his first major collaboration with John since their time working together on 1994's Pulp Fiction, as well as the last movie Bruce finished before his loved ones dropped their March announcement of his retirement. Bruce's blended family released a joint statement informing the world that Bruce was stepping away from the career that has meant so much to him. The statement touched on his experience with health issues and how they were impacting his cognitive abilities. Following the public reveals, fans were quick to flock to social media to shower Bruce with their love. And taking our first spot is Dustin Hoffman. Two-time Oscar winner Dustin is an alleged perfectionist who demands creative control and is overall difficult. In a resurfaced interview from 1982's Tootsie, Dustin's epiphany regarding the subjection of women's beauty standards has now gone viral on TikTok. The then 45-year-old Dustin starred as an actor named Michael, who struggled to land work until he dressed a woman. As the soap drama lead, now 85-year-old Dustin explained how his views changed as he prepared for the role by visiting the studio and running makeup tests so he could walk New York's streets as a convincingly dressed female. It was this discovery that brought Dustin to tears during the interview when he recalled a later conversation he had with his wife. Dustin recounted how adamant he was to be the star of Tootsie because of the deeper meaning he realized it held. While many praised Dustin on TikTok for this, others demeaned him with too late comments and referred to the situation as sad that he had to portray a woman in order to understand their situation. However, another TikToker wrote, "For those saying don't praise the bare minimum, we're praising the growth. And not doing so makes people not want to grow at all. Make growth pleasant." That's been today's WHN. I've been your host, Michaela, and thanks for watching, friends.